Hey everybody, welcome to the Altenew Live on YouTube and Facebook. I am Amy Hill and I'm so excited to be here with you today. And we have Bernadette behind the badge. And if you share this live while we're live, you'll be entered to win a gift card, and Bernadette will be pulling that at the end of this. And today, normally I kind of talk about a technique or one product, but today I'm talking about 10 years of products. So as you guys know, this is Altenew's birthday month, and they are still celebrating because it is such an amazing feat to have been in business for a decade. And so today we are talking about what is your first, what's your oldest Altenew set? What's the newest one that you bought, and how can you actually combine these things together? So we're going to take a little trip down Amy's memory lane, at least. And I pulled some of the very first cards that I ever made. How I still have them, I don't know, because I don't send enough cards. But we're going to be taking a look at Amy's, little bit of Amy's memory lane, grabbing some of my older products, and I'm going to be combining them with newer products. And I want to talk about how these work together. And that's what I really love about Altenew, because it really is old and new. It has this kind of timeless elegance. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Even if when your styles change, you can still use these products in some different ways. So I'm just going to take a minute just to say hello to everybody. I see Ave's here, and Brenna and Kim and Nancy. Oh, hi, Nancy. I hope you are doing. Oh, is it sunny out where you are? That's a surprise for you. And Sue, we got some wonderful weather today, don't we? And yeah, so your space looks like it too. Well, that's what we're going to be doing today. And we have Bernadette behind the badge. So please give a little shout out to Bernadette. Hi, Bernadette. I hope you are doing well. And I would just love to know, what is your oldest Altenew set? Do you still remember it? Do you still love it? Do you still have it? And that's what we're talking about, is shopping your stash. So this is kind of my ode and my tribute to Altenew's 10th anniversary celebration. And if you happen to be an Instagram person, there's a great hop that's starting today that is celebrating 10 years. And so you also have some more inspiration about combining that old and new, and maybe a chance to win some gift cards as well. So head over to Instagram while you're doing this. Just take a little scroll and take a look at some of your favorite designers and leave a little love on their Instagrams. So, hey, Smart Size 56, and we have Carrie and Haley and Julie from Tennessee, and Margot. Hi, Margot, and Cece from Sweden. How are you doing? And Shiomara's here. Oh my gosh. All right. Oh, thank you so much, Carrie, for sharing this. And again, you can be like Carrie and share. If you share this live while we're live, you'll be entered to win a $15 gift card. And Bernadette, we have, is behind the badge, so give her a little bit of love. All right, so I would love to know. So Sue, you said your oldest stamp set is a butterfly one from 2017. I probably own that. Yep. And let's see. So I want to know. Oh my gosh, I saw that from Michigan. Where did that go? First, it was Bewitching Rose. Oh, Carrie, that's a gorgeous rose set too. I love that one. I don't think I own that. I have to say, so I discovered Altenew when I discovered stamping, which was in 2017. And so I think what drew me in were the layered flowered stamp sets, because I love the realism. And so that was like, that just blew me away. So we're going to be playing with one of my favorites and probably one of your favorites because I can't believe that this is still available on the website, and that is Peony Bouquet. From 2015, believe it or not, but this is still on the website. So this is almost a 10-year-old stamp. And I got to say, it's a favorite. I know it's a favorite of everybody, and everybody has this Peony Bouquet from 2015. So that's what I'm going to be using today. And I'm going to be pairing it with a die from last year from 2023, which is the mini instant camera frame die. I love both of those. I know I have to say the rose layering sets are gorgeous. I have one that unfortunately is not around. And Nancy, yours was a collab with Simon Says stamp. Oh, the whimsical wreath builder. Oh my gosh, I need that one. That one's new. Hi from hi Marco from Montana. And vintage roses. Yes, still have it, still love it. That's the one that I have. That's no longer on there. And has me hooked. I need my first set. Yes. Hi, Haley. All right. And so thank you so much, Brenna, for sharing this. And you too can be like Brenna, and you can be entered to win a gift card. And Margot, I'm so glad that you're new to this. You're going to be loving all of their sets. And Carrie, I love all of their stuff. And that's why this is good, because you can kind of take a look at some of the other stuff they have. All right. I'm going to get going because I have a project for you. And I have one. I didn't make the card for it, but maybe if I have time, we will be able to work on that one together. All right, so this is my mat. And this is Peony Bouquet. So Peony Bouquet, like I said, was from 2015. Hey, Teresa. Teresa, we're talking about your first Altenew stamp set. And it looks like we have quite a few people who are new. So Jacqueline is new from Vermont, and if you share this live while we're live, you'll be entered to win a $15 gift card. We have Bernadette. Thank you, Bernadette. I'm so excited that you're here to help me out today. All right, so I have a little confession. I've only been card making since about 2017. So I'm going to show you guys one. It's not the very first card that I made, because that one I probably threw out by now. But this is my very first card that I made. Why the heck I still have it, I don't know. But this is the first card that I made with Peony Bouquet. And so you can tell, for those of you who know me, and I see Pat here from New Hampshire. Hi, Pat. And Painted Butterflies from like Sue. Yeah, from 2014. That's an oldie but a goodie, Pat. And this one is, so you can kind of see the gold embossing. I'm still into embossing. I love embossing. It's like my favorite thing to do. But this was my favorite thing to do on these layered stamp sets, was on the super detail layer. I used to use embossing powder. So that's that one. You can see there's no design. I literally just stamped the flower on there, moved on. And I do have to say, it was hard to line these up. There's no stamping guide. You just kind of figured it out. And then this was actually a year later. I did a similar, but man, I liked a lot of leaves. I don't know what's going on with me and leaves. But I used this, and this is a die set from Altenew, and I was embossing with a die on the back of that. So that's my second one. Here, let me pull it out so you can see it. This doesn't have glare. So you can see kind of how my style changed just a little bit. I still love pink peonies, though. Still love them. And I also, especially if you know me or you've taken a class from me, I like to mix up the colors on my leaves. And you can see I was doing it here. I have some yellow green and some other green here. So we're going to make a different card today. But I do want to incorporate this gorgeous, gorgeous peony from the Peony Bouquet set. Does anybody else have this? Do you still use it? Oh, yes, Karen. One set was Bouquet of Poppies. I know, before stencils. I agree, Teresa. I love the stencils. In fact, I'm going to, if I have some time, I'm going to do another one as well. All right, I'm just taking a look from up here. All right, so let me know your first, kind of like, what was the set that drew you to Altenew? And do you still have it, and do you still use it? All right, so this one, I actually had no embossing here except for my sentiment. And I combined three stamp sets, or three sets on this. So I have my Peony Bouquet. I have this mini instant camera frame die. I love this thing. It's really cute. It kind of goes with a lot of stuff. So I'm really excited about it. And then, as you know, every year for their birthday, because Altenew likes to celebrate not just themselves, but they like to celebrate us, is I have the Billowing Peony set. And there is a new one out. So they release an 8.5 by 11 set every year. And so these are like collector's editions. So you can go ahead and collect these. And this is the Billowing Peony set. This one's gorgeous. It comes with a coordinating stencil and die, and even the dies will put out these sentiments. And so I pulled in some of the sentiments. So this is from last year. Yes, you have. It's one of the first ones. So Sue, you also Sue from New Jersey. You also are one of the first people. This was what drew me in. This is what drew me in. And Teresa, you just got that Peony set. Oh, excited. Yes, you have to go look at that up, baby. It's that layering rose die set. Oh, I think I have that one too. That one's hiding somewhere in here. All right. So what I'm going to do on this card is I'm going to create this very soft background. So I'm going to stamp this very soft background. And I am also going to stamp out my peony. I'm actually going to do my peony first. But definitely roses, yes. Aren't they just gorgeous, Karen? Those having those flowers that were just like these layered flowers that just looked like a flower. And I just hadn't seen anything like that before. And it was just amazing. And I love the fact that the stencils are able to do that too. I think that that's really cool. All right. I want to actually stamp before I want to die cut before I stamp. So I'm going to do that too. 2016 Lotus. Oh, I think I remember that one. But the vintage roses. Yes, I have that. In fact, I looked that up. I was going to use that as well. And that's probably my very first. Did I pull that? Oh, yeah, I did. Bold Blossom. This was my very first set. This is not available on the website anymore, but this is Bold Blossom. That flower was just gorgeous. So I just loved all of them. And could not get enough of the stamping of these flowers. All right, so I'm going to grab some paper and I'm going to die cut a whole bunch of stuff and kind of keep it over to the side. All right, so the first thing I'm going to die cut is I am going to die cut. And in fact, when I bought this set, I didn't buy the coordinating die set with it because it didn't come out for a while. This came out in 2016 because they didn't really have coordinating dies at first. And so I used to have to cut this thing by hand. Oh my gosh. Awful. Oh my gosh, Teresa, is that right? And Altenew since their beginning. So you've been hanging out with them for 10 years. Oh my gosh. And Avi, yes, the vintage rose set. I love the flowers. I think that's also what drew me to Altenew was Tasneem and Jen's love of flowers. The fact that they do everything with flowers. I think that they're just, I love a flower. And spring right now in New England has just been fabulous, because I am able to finally see my garden come to life. So I'm really excited about that. All right, so I'm going to die cut. So I have a flower here that I'm going to die cut. And I'm just going to throw this right on. So we're going to do a little die cutting. And we're talking about your first Altenew stamp set. So what was it that drew you to Altenew? And mine that I'm working with right now is called the Peony Bouquet. And I'd love to know if you guys have this as well, because I absolutely adore it. I think it's amazing. All right, so I got 2 leaves. I have a smaller leaf, and I have this peony. And I'm going to use this negative space to stamp with. And then I'm going to grab my mini instant camera frame die. And I'm going to pull this out of rose gold cardstock. This is another wonderful addition, is all of the metallic cardstock. I think that's fabulous. Oh, wow. Yeah, pansy die. Oh, I agree. Okay. Oh, that's right, Michelle, the one with all the triangles. That Sokotoa. Oh, yeah, that one was great. I don't think I ended up buying that for some reason. But I really love that one, like what all the designers were able to do with that. I thought that was really cool. All right, so I'm going to just cut out another one of these just so I can layer it and just pop this up a little bit. This is what happens when you don't use tape and you're trying to go fast. Here we go. But so I saw Bernadette add the stamp wheel in. The stamp wheel, oh my gosh, that came out last year. That is a game changer. In fact, I have to tell you, I used to struggle with this stamp set and creating my card and having the stamp wheel, oh my gosh, it made it, I cannot believe how much easier it made it to stamp this peony. I remember all the trouble I used to have with it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not having any trouble at all. And I think it's honestly because of the stamp wheel. So, oh my gosh, I love reading about all of your first sets from Altenew. All right, so this one's mine. So this is the card we're making, if I can find them. So I'm using the very first set that I purchased, which was Peony Bouquet, and that is from 2015. And I'm adding it in with some newer products, and one of them is the mini instant camera frame die. I love this. I think it's so cute. I feel like it goes with a lot of different things too. You can use it in a couple of different ways. And I'm also using it with the Billowing Peonies stamp set, which is from last year. And then the Poppy set, that one is gorgeous. That's the release from this year. So pretty. All right, so I'm going to do this in a series of pinks. And another new product that I'm using is the Fresh Dye inks. These are fabulous. I love using them. And I love the fact that I can open them with one hand. So they stick right on my mat. I can open them up. It's awesome if I'm doing any sort of blending. And I don't need to sit there and futz with them. They're really easy to do that. All right, so I'm going to actually start with my outline. And this is the nice thing about doing this and die cutting first. And I did used to, I can't even tell you the fussy cutting. And I saw a comment in there before where somebody had said that they hate fussy cutting, and I am on team hate fussy cutting. I hate it. And that's why I loved it when coordinating dies would come out. I would just make sure that I got them both because they're just better. All right, so I'm going to grab the outline of this guy, and I'm also going to grab the outline of my little leaf, which is going to go right here. All right, so I'm keeping it a really soft palette today just because it's springtime and I'm thinking pink. I always make pink peonies. I don't know what it is, but oh yeah, I agree with that, Karen. What I love about Altenew is you can make beautiful flowers with just papers or stencils and build color. I agree. They have so many products. They're so versatile. It's really nice to use them all together. I really, really enjoy all of the stuff that they make. And I just cleaned my stamp wheel, so it's a little bit extra sticky today, right now. So my stamp does not want to come up. Let's try that again. Nope. Okay, that's all right. Being difficult. Okay. And Liz is here. Hi, Liz. Yeah, I know, Teresa. Back in the day, there was only fussy cutting. Oh, it's awful, wasn't it? Hated it. All right, so I'm just lining up this guy, getting him right on my paper. There we go. That's better. There we go. That picks him up. All right, so the reason why I'm using the negative space is because I can fit the stamp in to make sure that I'm getting a nice even outline around there without having to worry about it too much. So one of the new products that I also love is, and one of the reasons why I love Altenew inks is because they come in like the coordinating set. And I'm somebody who just kind of like wants to go. I just want to get in and stamp and have fun. I don't want to sit here and like think about everything. And so I really appreciate that as well. And so I just love the fact that there's this ink line that I can use. So I'm using frosted foliage on these. So I want to keep it kind of nice and light. And this is the outline for my leaves. And this is Jade from that frosted foliage set. And then this is Rhodolite, and this is from the Jewel Tone set. And this set was really set up to stretch out your inks from 4 colors to 6, actually, because there is the Jewel Tone set, and then there is a set of lighter colors as well. All right, I'm just going to put this down and just stamp that in there. All right, let me check some comments. seconds. All right. And I'm so excited that you guys are sharing this. And oh my gosh, beautiful day, Aditi. I remember that. That's a gorgeous set. And I'm also thank you guys so much for sharing. If you share this live while we're live, you'll be entered to win a gift card to Altenew, and we have Bernadette behind the badge today, and she will be announcing that winner after our show. And we are talking about your first Altenew set. We're celebrating Altenew, 10 years of Altenew. And I am using Peony Bouquet. Wow, January 2017. Is that right, Sue? I can't believe you looked that up. That's awesome that you found that. That's awesome. And those are great. The Garden Hydrangea, that's a favorite set of mine. Absolutely. Smile More and Layer Lily. The first, when they came out with the Craft to Flowers, those were awesome. When those first came out, the Paint to Flowers, I love those. Those were a great set. All right, so now I'm going to pull this guy, put him over here. Okay, and I'm just going to grab the second layer of this guy, put him right here. And this is the nice thing about using something like the stamp wheel. So you can see that I have all of these pieces. I'm going to just pick up this stamp real quick so I don't knock him out. All right. And I got to tell you, I don't even have to condition these stamps because of the fact that I use them. They are well loved. In fact, I think I need to give some of them a bath, to be perfectly honest. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this down. And how you guys remember layering all of these and trying to line up those layers and kind of wiggling it and sniggling it right in where it needs to go. Always was a little bit of a crapshoot, but man, it gives amazing results. Love it. Oh, wow. My favorite's Alicia, Timeless Tulips. Oh, yeah. And that's what we're talking about is how can you connect? So I always try to shop my stash, especially when I get a new product in, because there's a reason why I bought these things in the first place. And so I want to use them. And sometimes we forget that for our new things, that's the new shiny thing that we want to use right away. But don't forget you have all of these gorgeous items. So pull them out, use them. They're absolutely still fabulous to use. All right, so now I got like 4 things I got going on here. So I need to put some jade in here. And I need some silver sage. I love this silver sage. I'm going for a little bit of a gray-green look. And I'm using the rose petal set for my peony because I wanted something nice and pink. And this rose quartz is really pretty. Actually, I think I use Spring Bouquet. That's right. And this is what I love about the stamp wheel is I can do all of this at one time. Susan, Splash of Color and Beautiful Day. And also in January of 2017. Man, we all have something in common. We found Altenew in 2017. That was definitely my first Altenew order was in 2017. Just love them. Okay, so this guy moves over. This guy's all done. All right, so now we're going to get that next layer out. Okay, that's this guy. So I have to say, and I have my card here as well. Do you have a favorite color combination or a favorite color that you love that maybe you always reach for? Are you is there a product or an innovation? Because I feel like Altenew is also really been innovating and making so many new things, from glitter paper to the metallic paper I'm using on this as well. And I just kind of love all of their new products. In fact, I'm going to be using one of their stamping blocks. If you knew that they had stamping blocks, I actually love it. It's my favorite stamping block that I use. Wow, Karen, that's right. 2018 layered rose die set and rose flurries. I know, Nancy. Now, but see, Nancy, that's good that I'm making you go back and checking your inventory because you want to use it. You want to have that around and you want to be able to use it. And that's the cool thing about it, is that you're doing that. So we can check it out. All right, so I'm going to do this in this purple wine. Nice and dark here. And my silver sage for this guy. Again, this is what I love about the stamp wheel is I can get all of this done. It's really quick. If I want to have, whenever I make cards like this that have layers to them, I do a whole bunch at a time and I keep them. Wow, Liz, is that right? Vintage flowers. Yellows and orange of this week. Wow. Oh my gosh, Peggy, I remember Henna Elements. I should have grabbed that one. I loved Henna Elements. It was one of my favorite sets. And Carrie, isn't it? I have to say, Carrie, I have a question for you. Do you stick your inks onto the stamp mat? I have a tendency to do that. I love doing it because then it's kind of like there and I can just keep going into it. And I really like doing that. So kind of like I showed you, like this is stuck and then I can just lift it up and move on. So I don't have to have a separate thing. I can just stick it right there. And yes, Susan, that's what we're talking about. So are there things that are forgotten that you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I got to go back and find? And I encourage you to do that. And this is a great time to do it, is during this anniversary celebration. Like I said, we're having an Instagram hop right now that is celebrating 10 years of Altenew innovation and Altenew products and inks. And take a look at some inspiration for your products. And like Nancy was saying, this is a really, really awesome time to go back and find that stuff. You bought it, you loved it, use it. You know, put it off. You got some new favorites, add them in with your new favorites. What do you want to do with them? And I think that that is a great thing to do. Okay. All right, so here's my peony, and I love the fact that this was only 3. I can't remember. There was a couple of sets that, and I messed that one up. That's all right. We'll use them. There was a set where it was like 6. They kind of started to get really into a lot of layers of stamping. This guy's a little off, so I would re-stamp him, but we'll take him right now as he is. I'll fix him later. All right, so now I have my flowers. I got my leaves. Let me pull these away. All right, so now I'm going to create a background. And what I always loved about the Peony Bouquet set is that it had this these little tiny elements in here. And I love to take the smaller elements that are inside of a stamp set and that I like to actually make backgrounds with them. And that's what I'm going to do right now, is to make a background. So I'm just going to grab a piece of paper. And I'm actually going to do this by hand. I'm not going to use my stamp wheel lid because my paper is this big, huge rectangle. So instead, I'm just going to use a hand block. So I have my little 2x3 hand block here. And what I love about this set is that you have this really beautiful smaller bud of a flower, and then you have these little berries and other little things that you can put on here. And this bud is actually a layer. So this is actually a layering element. So we're going to layer with this as well. So, and yes, henna elements and layering flowers, right, Brenna? That is the way to go. I love using them. All right, so I'm going to grab a puffy heart with this. And I'm going to make this the darker one. And then we'll keep on going along with it. And I could use second generation stamping. I'm going to keep it a little bit less fussy But when I made my first card, I did second generation stamping. But I'm just going to kind of stamp this around. And of course, when I'm making my background, what I'm trying to do is to kind of keep twirling my stamp so that way I get some different kind of things. All right, and we are talking old and new. So Altenew means the old and new, and we are talking the 10th anniversary of Altenew. So what was it that drew you into Altenew? Do you have a favorite? Maybe you're still using it. And hi, Dawn from New Zealand. It's so nice that you're here. Thank you. And again, if you share this live while we are live, you'll be entered to win a gift card to Altenew. I'm going to stick that one here, and I'm going to do one more. And I'm just going to stick that one up there. Okay. All right. So now I am going to add in I'm going to do my leaves next, which are right here. And again, I'm just hand stamping this because it's just a little bit easier. I can take a look at my paper and just kind of move it around. And that's the great thing about the stamp mat is you have this freedom in order to do that. I always also try to put them in. Right, Carrie? I love the fact that the colors are in the same, they have these color families and that things match. It's a lot easier to kind of use them, especially for somebody like me. You know, I'm not a trained artist. I just want to come in and have some fun and not have to think about stuff. And that's what's great about using the Altenew materials is they just make it really easy for you to do that. All right, I'm going to come in with some jade, and I'm just going to stamp. This won't be off. I'll be off a little bit, and I'm okay with that because I'm actually looking for this to be a little weathered. So if I'm off, that's totally fine with me. Oh, it was really off. Okay, that one goes there. And that one goes there. All right. Oh my gosh, Bold Blossom. Peggy, I have that one. I pulled that out. Yes, I agree. Sometimes hand stamping has to be done, but that's what's nice is like, you know, obviously the more you practice, the better you're going to get at it. So just keep that in mind as you go along, that it's a good thing. It's a good thing to do. All right, so I'm actually going to grab this color. It's called Silver Lining. And this is from the Amy Tangerine set. It's really, really cool, this little silver. So we're going to add just a little bit of silver in here. Go in this way. Bold Blooms. Yeah, that one I had out. I looked for it, but it's not out. I can't believe that this Peony Bouquet is still on the website. I think that that's really cool. The fact that it's still there from 2015. So crazy. Okay, that looks good. That one goes there. And I'm actually going to grab these little cherries up here that are so cute. And again, my page is like, I have to give these guys a bath because I'm losing some of my stamps up here. All right, so I'm going to grab just sage for this guy. So these are just some little tiny berries that can go right in the middle. I love making my own pattern paper. It's kind of fun. You get to move around all the time with it. Fill those pieces in. And that's what I also liked about this stamp set is that you have that ability to do that with all of these little guys. All right, so this is the berry portion. I'm actually going to grab, there's a color called pink. What the heck is it? Here it is, baby pink. I'm going to grab this color called baby pink. This is off of the Spring Bouquet set. And these are going to be my little berries. A little bit more pink in here. Okay, here we go. Wow, beautiful day in 2017. I love it. I love the fact that you guys are sharing your first ones. The question now is, when was the last time you used it? I have to say, I haven't pulled this set in a really long time. So I'm happy to be using it today because I really do love it. All right, so that was baby pink. And I'm just going to grab my little magenta here. This is even layered, which I think is really cool. All right. And now I'm going to go in. This is my last little berry bit. Oh, yeah, I know. Pattern paper. Flowers are timeless. I agree. Okay, so as you can see, I'm starting to build my pattern. And just to remind you guys where we're heading to and what we're doing today. And so I am creating this card that puts together some of my oldest set, which happens to be this Peony from 2015, and this newer sets, which are from last year, which is the mini instant camera frame die, and also the billowing peony set. And I'm using rose gold as my accent piece for this. So I'm creating this really soft background, and then I am going to cut this out, and I'm going to inlay that little camera frame in there. All right, so now I'm going to come in, and where is my silver sage? So that's one of the things I really loved about this set, is just all the little doodads. There were so many little doodads that you could use with this, which I thought was really cool. The berries had a layer. The leaves had some layering to them. You have this larger flower and this little mini flower that had it to them. And I've always wanted to use them. I actually just used to use just the big flower, but I loved all of these little parts of it too. All right. Oh, we have to use them too. Yes, Cheryl, that is the point. And found it again 3 years later. Although that's kind of like it's new. Do you know what I mean? Like it's new again to you because you're like, I don't know where that went. And then all of a sudden it pops up and you're like, yes. It's like you just bought it again, you know? That's kind of fun. I could see that. All right, so I'm just going to grab these 2 layers. There's 3 layers. I'm not going to do that one. I'm just going to do, so there's actually 3 layers with this guy, but I'm just going to do 2 of the layers. And let me grab that rose quartz. I'm going to make this really nice and soft. And I can't believe, how fast this goes too, which I love. This one's relatively easy to put together. And again, I'm okay because I'm making this kind of soft background. And I want it to look a little distressed. All right. This one, and then I got one more. And I love this color combination, this from the rose petals. So, oh, thanks, Teresa. This is really nice to have too. I was going to do this I originally did it as a 2nd generation stamping, but I was like, in the interest of time, I'm kind of going forward with it. But even just this itself is just really pretty. All right, so I'm going to do the next layer on this guy, which is right here. And I'm just going to grab my puffy heart, which is what I actually use to outline it with. So this is the same color of that outline. And oh my gosh, just the detail in these is so incredible. And like I was saying, it is definitely a practiced hand that I have this. Right. Thanks, Sue. Well, yeah, to be honest, you're gonna get like, you guys know me. I like to make a two for cards, if I'm stamping and making something, I want to get more than one card out of it. And this is going to create some elements that I can actually use for that. So, all right, I got one more that I want to do, and I'm going to actually use. I think I'm going to use the jade. No, I'm going to use frosted foliage for this. There is a little guy here that is just the background of the stem. So I'm going to just go ahead and add this in too. And just to kind of keep the same colors, just using these same colors again and again. And I really like this color of this gray-green with the fuchsia and magenta colors of the pink. And I could probably go a little bit darker with this, but I really like this soft gray-green with it. All right, so I'm going to stop right here. So here is my outline. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Bernadette. I'm so glad that you are with us today behind the badge. And if you guys share this live while we're live, you will be entered to win a gift card to Altenew. All right, so this is my little background. I am going to use this. So I'm going to take a second just to cut this guy down, because who doesn't love a little edge? Do you remember that from, when we used to layer everything upon layers upon layers upon layers? Oh, yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this down just a little bit. All right, so here's my cut, and I'm going to cut this side. So that's 5 1/4. Cut this down. All right, so here is my guy. And I'm going to grab my mini instant camera frame die. And I don't want this. This does look cool right in the middle, but I wanted to, kind of move this around. And Penny, it totally doesn't. So I'm going to show you right now. Oh, thanks, Pam, about the ink. And oh my gosh, who said that about you shopping your stash? Yes, Cheryl, that's what we do, is shop in your stash. That's so much fun. I love doing it because sometimes you just don't see stuff. And thanks, Liz. I appreciate that. This is something, pull that out. Pull it out. All right, so I have on my desk somewhere is my Altenew stamp cleaner. Amazing product. I have extra bottles of this stuff. Whenever it actually is in the shop, I grab a couple. And you can see that I have some black. I get some pink. This is pink. It's not a big deal. This mat, if you're new to Altenew, this mat it's literally like a gigantic stamp. So this is made from polyacrylic, just like a stamp is. And that's why it's sticky like the way a stamp is. So you can clean it like a stamp. So I'm just going to spray a little bit of that on. I'm going to wipe that off, and that's going to take all of my extra edges, all my extra. Now you're looking at that like, Amy, you have this like gigantic pink ring. Yes, I do. And that does not damage the stamp in any way. It's just leftover pink, because we all know that pink and red happen to stain, unfortunately. And that's because I was blending at some point in time. And I got pink on my mat. That's all. So it's really, really super easy. And I really recommend that Altenew stamp cleaner because it is fabulous. All right, so I have my mini instant camera frame die, and I'm going to grab my other Altenew favorite product, which happens to be satin masking tape. And I'm going to just tape this right where I want it to be. And in fact, my desk is like, there's just little pieces all over the place of purple masking tape. It's on my clothes. I'm finding it in my washing machine. So I'm just finding it all over the place. All right, who said that, Teresa? Bumpy side goes up. No, bumpy side is down. So this is the cutting side. And then this bumpy edge is actually an embossing. So this is going to emboss these in here. And let me show you what it does. So it's going to cut it out like that. Come on, camera. Hold on. It will get it for you, Teresa. Do you see that? It's a little hard to see because this is white on white. But here we go. Let's take a look at the rose gold. That's a little bit easier. Can you see it now? So that's going to emboss it. And isn't that cute? Oh, Amy on the sticky mat. Oh, sorry. Bumpy side goes down. Bumpy side goes down, not up. So this is going to give you this nice smooth surface. And then this side is going to cling to the plastic that's on here. And then this little thing that I have, it actually came with my, this is part of the original packaging. And I just cut it down a little bit, put some, adhesive dots, some zots, and that just keeps that in place, just so I have a little grid mat on the back side. So on that one. So yeah, I appreciate the questions. And if I mess up your question, I'm glad you ask it again. And I am so glad, Liz, that you also accessorize with satin masking tape and that it is everywhere. Like it's in my washing machine, it's on my clothes. I just walk around and there's satin masking tape on my clothes. It's just everywhere where I just don't want it to be. All right, so I'm just using my mat. I'm just making sure that my card itself is lined up. And I'm just lining this up on my mat. Okay, so now I think I have it in the right spot. And I'm just going to use a little bit of purple tape to get that down. Okay, that looks good. All right, so I'm going to roll this through my machine. Bring that guy back in really quick. And this is actually going to give me, because I'm not going to use this piece, but this is actually going to give me an extra piece that I can use on a separate card, which I think is great if I wanted to. So it gives me this little piece right here. So I'm actually going to do a little die cut inlay with this card. And so what I'm going to do is let me pull this off right here. Now that I have this down, I'm going to put this on my card base. And this is just a piece of cardstock that I have around. And I'm going to use another favorite Altenew product, which happens to be the tape runner. This is a great innovation that they have. It doesn't get caught. It actually lays down. Sometimes tape runners, they skip. And then this is, I can just kind of put things down. And then if I make a mistake, it's not permanent right away. So I can flip things up and kind of change them up as I go along. Okay. All right. So what I have here is I have my little piece of rose gold, metallic gold, rose gold. Oh, sorry you asked, Amy, but I set my reply at the same time. Oh, no, that's okay. It's totally fine because that's what we're here for, Karen. We're a community and we help to support each other. So sometimes I'm looking down at my mat and I don't always see questions. So I appreciate it from you guys in the audience to answer those too. And we're helping each other out because that's what crafters do. We're a fabulous community, awesome community. And it's really great that we help each other all the time. All right, so I'm just taking this, and the reason why I'm putting the white under it is just to give it just a little bit of bulk. You could put 2 if you really wanted to raise it up. I don't want it to be super high, but I do want to give it a little bit of bulk. So I just die cut an extra one from white cardstock and just put that down. All right, so I'm just going to grab this, and I'm just adding this right on. And then this is just going to fit right into my little opening. See how cute that is? So cute. And now I have that nice little rose gold piece. Isn't it great? All right. So I'm going to actually pull out the center of this. And I'm going to, so this is separate. So I can actually use that on a different card. And I'm going to add this in right here. And it's just going to pop right in. And that's why it's kind of neat because it shows this little continuation of my pattern. And I like to do this sometimes when I have patterns like this, because I'm adding in this element that kind of breaks up the pattern. So it's not like, flowers in your face. And, but this way we can add this in and it doesn't add too much bulk to the card because we're inlaying it inside of it. So that's why it's kind of pretty that way. All right. So now we're going to add on our other pieces. So I have my flower and I have to say, I think I messed up the last layer, but that's okay. We're going to stick with it for right now. And also it's a little bit darker than this first one because I realized on this I used the spring bouquet, but that's fine. And then I'm going to put these little leaves on. And I also have a sentiment. So I'm just going to tack this in with some of my tape runner. I'm just putting a little bit on. And the way that I put this on is I always like the leaves to kind of stick into these little crevices. So I'm just going to kind of stick them around. And this one goes right here. And this little guy goes right here. And that way I'm kind of making it so it's extending the flower. So it's going up and out and down. So it's kind of filling in that card space. And now I'm going to add my little sentiment. So my sentiment is actually from the Peony, what is this one? Billowing Blossoms, Billowing Peonies. This is from the Billowing Peonies set. This gorgeous stamp set. This is from last year, and it actually comes with all of these lovely sentiments that you can actually die cut out. And so I just grabbed Hello because I like this font and I like the size of this. And it took me a little while to kind of like find the right exact one that I wanted. And I am going to, I grabbed the die and I had it ready, guys. Here it is. Found you. All right, so here's my little die. And so I'm just going to run this really quickly through my die cutting machine. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I think I'm just, so this is just a little piece of extra cardstock. And I am going to just stamp this onto my cardstock, and I'm going to heat emboss this with some rose gold embossing powder. So I'm going to use my clear ink. Just stamp this right down and put this right on. So I'm just going to stamp this right on. Hold that down a little bit. I just realized I did not use my anti-static powder tool, so this might be ugly. In fact, I'm going to do this again because you guys know that that will be ugly. I just lost my ink. All right. Yeah, thanks, Teresa. That's what I was going for. And like I said, this is a perfect card to use second generation stamping. And that way you can actually get two backgrounds out of it, because you can get a background that's like really, really bold from that first generation stamping. And then you can get a background that's really soft from the second generation stamping. And then you can use them in different ways. So whichever, you happen to like, you can use those. All right. So if you're not familiar with Altenew's embossing powders, they're really fabulous because they call them a crisp embossing powder, and that's because the grains are really fine. So for sentiments that are small like this and really, really super fine sentiments, I find that they don't blow up very much, and so they don't get all over the place. All right, you guys knew this is why, kids, you need to use your embossing bag, because you get embossing powder all over the place. All right, so we're gonna skip this guy. And I'm gonna use the second guy. Oh my gosh, right, Carrie? Always forget it. Sometimes I'm like, I'll deal with it. This time I'm like, no, I know it's gonna be bad. It's like they need to have some sort of extension tool from your hand on that embossing guide. This gives such a gorgeous color, and I like it because it just has like a little bit of a pink hue versus the antique gold. And I thought, since I was using the rose gold metallic paper, that this would be absolutely fabulous with it. All right. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to line it up really, really carefully. Now, this is actually something that I can run through my mini blossom. And the mini blossom is another tool that I absolutely love from Altenew. And if you're not familiar with the mini blossom, it is probably the most fabulous tool that they have. It is my little tiny workhorse, and it is this little guy that is right here. I'm going to grab his tiny little plates. And this is, they fit a 3x6. There's a cutting plate. There's even a metal shim if you need that, if you're doing something a little bit more delicate. And this is great because it can just sit on right on your desk, and it's ready to go when you're doing small things like this. That way you don't have to lug out your big machine. And the way I have my craft room organized, because I'm trying to get myself to do more steps, is I have like stations all around the room. So I have like a die cutting station like across the way. And sometimes I'm like, I just don't really feel like getting up. So I have my mini blossom right on my desk, and it's a little bit easier to do that. All right, so normally I would put this up on a couple of things, but we can just add this guy right in. And there is our little card. And again, you're adding in these old and new pieces. So I really encourage you to shop your stash and then see things that are going on. So just a different colorway, a little bit softer. I kind of like this one a little bit better. This one was using this the spring bouquet things. All right, so that gives us, I still have this, and I know I'm running out of time, so I can't do much with it right now or go ahead and do an entire card with it. But this is gorgeous. So even if you had it and we add it to a little bit of this, or if I have this color and just add it to there, and I do some stenciling with that background, how gorgeous is that, right? In fact, I think I'm going to really, really quickly, because we got about 5 minutes. Bernadette, you're okay, right? I got 4 minutes. I'm just going to do some really, really quick blending. Let me grab a piece of Bristol. I'm going to do some really, really super quick blending. And I'm going to grab my Silver Sage Frosted Foliage. And these very large blending tools, which are fabulous. Unfortunately, I don't have my green one right here, but I have a blue one. These are, oh, there it is. These are fabulous. All right, so here's my green one. And when you want to quickly do something like this all around a card, it's really fabulous to put on. And I just have my card here. It's right on my stamp wheel, and I can just go ahead and do that. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Bernadette. See, isn't it, Carrie? Like this one, and again, this is from 2023. So we're putting together items from old and new Altenew sets. Okay. And even though that looks green, it's there's no ink coming off of it. So I cleaned it up pretty good. So I can just come in. I'm just coming in with some of this Silver Sage. And I'm just blending this all around my card. This is really light. And all I'm doing is just creating this little background, a little bit of color, and I can add in my mini camera frame die. Wow, Jane, is that right? 2018. I can't believe you still have an email from that. That's awesome. Wow. Include 8 stamp sets. And do you still have them, Jane? Are you still using those 8 stamp sets? I challenge you guys. In fact, if you go and head over, Altenew is having a challenge. Last week was to use, to combine your old and new stamp sets. And I think this week is to create something that is kind of vintage looking or vintage inspired. So check out, there's a lot of things going on right now. And like I said, there's an Instagram hop that's going on to get some more inspiration about putting together some old and new stamp sets. All right, so I'm building up this color. The sage is kind of starting to finally come through. And I have about 1 minute to go. And I'm so glad. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining us today, Bernadette and I. We are so happy that you took some time for yourself and took some time to craft with us. Just want to say, just put that on there. Just look how pretty that is. And I can add in a little bit of this gold. Just to add that in there. Add a little sentiment. But it's so easy to put these nice things together. But thank you so much for taking some time for yourself and taking some time to share in inspiration for your and love of Altenew products. And that's what we're talking about today, is how do you combine your old and new stuff. So today we looked at the Peony Bouquet from 2015, and I paired it up with some items like the mini instant camera frame from 2023. So Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I agree, Pat. I love that silver sage. It is such a gorgeous color. I want to keep building that up just a little bit before I move on. Oh my gosh, Teresa. Thank you so much, guys. And Sheila. Oh, absolutely. And thank you, Karen. And thank you so much for being here. And Cece, I love it. And I will see you guys later. And hopefully, I will see you all around on our Instagram hop. And I'll see you in the Altenew waiting room. Have a fabulous day, everybody.